Dear viewers across the world, most welcome to my channel NAGA World Conflict Zones, Israel and Palestine context. How the violence plays into Netanyahu's hand. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Finance Minister Yair Lapid. These are the main facts. In the beginning, the usual suspect from the left were the only Israeli who said it out loud. Next was the former Minister of Defense and Chief of Staff, Moshe Yaalon, who made the link between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's personal interest and violent confrontations that started in East Jerusalem and spread to the Gaza Strip, the occupied West Bank, and Israel. The security escalations serves Netanyahu and Hamas both for internal political reason, tweeted Yaalon. Then, even former defense minister and chairman of Israel Beitenin party, Avigdor Lieberman, declared that the strategic purpose of the military operation is to improve the public opinion of Netanyahu. As long as the mandate to form a government is with Lapid, Netanyahu will try to extend the operations. Indeed, the incumbent Israeli Prime Minister has not made any significant effort to contain the violence last month. He could have ordered the police to remove the roadblock from Damascus Gate in the old city of Jerusalem. Why did he wait until it became a battleground between the police and hundreds of young Palestinians? Why did he allow the police to throw stun grenades in Al-Aqsa Mosque during prayer times? Yair Lapid, chairman of the Yesh Atid party, former finance minister and leader of the so-called Change bloc, had an answer even before the escalating started. Shortly after the March 23rd elections, he met with Defense Minister and White and Blue Alliance Chairman Benny Gantz, and according to the Haaretz writer Yossi Varda, told him to the following: "There is one thing you need to consider. If Netanyahu feels that the government is slipping through his fingers, he will try to create a security incident in Gaza or the northern border. If he will think that this is the only way to save him, he will not hesitate for a moment." For the past 2 years, Netanyahu has been fighting for his political life with everything he has got. He has been charged with fraud and corruption and is potentially facing a hefty prison sentence if he falls from power. He now fears the Change bloc, which Lapid and Gantz are part of and which emerged in an effort to oust him from power. It also includes right-wing Lieberman, Naftali Bennett, head of the right-wing Yamina party, and Gideon Sara, head of the Likud splinter, New Hope, as well as the left-wing Marav Michael, leader of the Labour Party, and Nitjan Harwaz, head of Meretz. This heterogeneous and rather fragile alliance had the sole purpose of setting up a government that excludes Netanyahu. After Netanyahu failed for the fourth time in 2 years to form a government, the president offered the mandate to Lapid, the leader of the largest party in the change bloc, which has 17 mandates in the Knesset. The recent wave of violence found him amid his last effort to complete the negotiations with the other parties. Until a few days ago, the change bloc was 4 Knesset votes short of 61 that are needed to accomplish this mission. These votes were expected to come from the Palestinian Ra'am party headed by Mansour Abbas. He promised to join any political coalitions that will be able to form a government. As the tension heated up in Jerusalem, Alon asked the leader of the change bloc to accelerate the move to form a new government. But it seems that his advice came a little too late. On May 13, the bloc fell apart. Bennett announced that he was leaving the change bloc and resuming negotiations with Netanyahu. Lapid said that he will keep trying to form a government, but these options have dramatically shrunk. Apart from Mansour, he will also have to convince the Palestinian Joint List to replace Bennett's party. If he fails to do so in less than 3 weeks, he will have to return to mandate to the president. In this case, Netanyahu may lead to the countries to a fifth elections in 2 years and meanwhile appoint an attorney general that will find a way to halt his trial. At this point, one must ask whether the change bloc that leans on Palestine's political forces will be able to avoid the next round of confrontations between the occupier and the resistance force. Can a Palestinian-Israeli politician stay in a government that orders the police to attack Muslims in Al-Aqsa Mosque during Ramadan and send pilots to drop bombs on Gaza, killing innocent Palestinian children? The different responses to the current event demonstrate the huge gap between the potential partners of the change bloc, while Abbas and the other Palestinian Knesset member must take a step back from the new potential partner. The Zionist leaders cannot turn their backs to their constituents who fear the barrage of Hamas rocket and intercommunal violence in mixed cities. Sarah hurried to call in Netanyahu and Gantz to respond strongly to the attack on Israeli civilians. He promised that his party will back the government's strong response to restore deterrence. Lapid also stated that he will support the government's actions in the war against Israeli enemies. None of the center-right leaders has said in a single word about the source of the conflict, neither offered a strategy to reach a political settlement. The escalations in the occupied territories is a reminder that the change bloc must first and foremost change its idle policy regarding the Israeli-Palestine conflicts and its discriminative policy toward the Israeli-Palestine minority. The current event remains as that no Israeli government can afford to ignore this issue without harming the safety of Israeli citizens, jeopardizing relations with neighboring Arab countries, and antagonizing the international community. The Israeli-Palestine conflict is like a car with 2 gears, drive and reverse. You must choose between the two. There is no parking or neutral. If you are not making progress, you are doomed to go backward. The